Hello, my name is Robbie Randall and I'm a Senior Product Specialist here at Intuit. Today I'm going to share with you the top 3 reasons why you should add a client using QuickBooks Online Accountant. Let me preface this talk by saying historically, whenever a business client raises their hand wanting to use QuickBooks Online, we've just pushed them to the web. What I'm finding is that successful firms who've adopted cloud have turned that idea on its head. They are the ones who first set up the account before doing anything else, and they do that via Add a Client tool in the Accountants edition. So let's go ahead and hop into QuickBooks Online Accountant. First and foremost, what I'd like you and your team to do is a pulse check. Look over on the top left and always make sure that you see Accountant spelled out. Now if this says QuickBooks spelled out, that means you're logging into your client's books as a user. You're not getting any of the accountant's tools that we're going to show you over the next few weeks, and you'll really be missing out on a lot of features and functionality that you need to do your business. So quick pulse, make sure you see Accountant on the top left. Now of course whenever we log into QuickBooks Online Accountant, we always land on the client's list. And just for some housekeeping, if you ever want to sort out your bookkeeping clients, come over to this drop down menu here and select bookkeeping. Very easy to do. Now when it comes time to add a client, remember historically what we've done is we've said, look, client, go out to the web, purchase your package, and then invite me as your accountant or bookkeeper. What we want to start doing is getting ahead of that process and inviting our clients using the Add a Client tool. Simply all I need to do is come over on the top right and click the big green button that says Add a Client. See it up there on the top right? Once you click Add a Client, you then come in and add your client's business name information. Let's call this Robbie's Business. Email address, robbie@robbie.com. And then of course you want to continue to fill out the business information. Now for the sake of time, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and move down. That's step 1. I will say one thing about step 1. If they are already an Intuit customer, specifically desktop, or if they already have used QuickBooks Online before, make sure you capture the same email address that they have used in the past. Okay, we identify you and your clients by your email. Super important. So that's step 1, enter the contact information. Step 2, come down here, and if you're not sure which edition of QuickBooks Online to place your clients in, click this compare icon here, or hyperlink, and it's going to open up a matrix. And then you can sit with your client and go through this information, or just do this after your client interview and decide which package is the best one for your clients. Now I'm going to go back into the Add a Client tool. That was step 2, pick the package. Step 3 is you need to decide which way to be billed. What I mean by that is if you want your client to be billed, just click direct. Now if they go through you direct, they get a 12-month discount. If they come to our website, they're only getting a 6-month discount, so there's some additional love there to go through you direct. Your team will not be billed. Direct billing goes directly to the client. The next choice is wholesale discount. What this means is that the firm is billed. The bill comes to your firm. Typically this is included in a bundled pricing tier. Some folks in the industry call that value pricing. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that you use this as a discount lever. Some firms do that. It's meant to complement a bundled pricing offering. And then of course the third is if you have clients who are not using QuickBooks Online. Let's say they're individuals, or there's scenarios where you're just not doing the books for your client, they're tax only maybe. You can now add a non-subscription client to QuickBooks Online. There's no cost associated with that. There's no bundle to be concerned with. You're basically capturing their contact information. Now at the very bottom you can decide who in your firm is going to work on those particular set of books. So you can come down here and check these off and be on your way. Now I get asked a lot, look, if there are particular team members that I always want to be included on books, we do have the ability to add those defaults within the team settings. So there it is, the 3-4 easy steps to get your clients added using the Add a Client. Now what I'd like to talk about with the remainder of our time, maybe a minute, is talk about why. Why do firms do this? And like I said in the beginning, what I'm finding is successful firms opt to do it this way. Probably if I had to pick the most important reason that I'm hearing out there on the road is that you become the master admin. This gives your team control, access, and functionality in so many different ways. First, what I'd like you to do is imagine your team finally cleaned up the books, you've closed out the period, and you've moved on to the next client. Only to find out later, maybe even months later, that your client's going in and making changes after the period. That's because they're the master admin. Typically, when we send our clients to the web, they maintain the master admin rights, which can cause a mess of the books later down the road. I've met no one ever who likes to go in and do that low value cleanup work. Lots of times we're not able to bill for that. So when you use the Add a Client tool, you do have the option to maintain or reserve the master admin rights. Second, if the small business client ever wants to part ways, super important, if they ever want to end the relationship with your firm, they will have to contact you to relinquish those master admin rights. This gives your firm an opportunity to speak with that small business client. Maybe they're just moving out of your territory. Maybe something went south in the relationship that you can use for future relationships. Lots of good reasons why we'd want to have that conversation. Third, maybe most important, the master admin induces better collaboration and communication throughout the client relationship. I think that value that I'm speaking to there is pretty self-evident. If you ever want to have that conversation, we're happy to. Now, the number 2 reason to add a client is that your firm is in control of the process from the very beginning. You set up your client's account correctly from the jump. I can't tell you how important this is. Usually when we encourage our clients to go out to the web and do their own setup, it's typically a mess by the time that we get the file. This scenario also creates that low value, non-billable work that none of us enjoy. Lastly, it creates bad habits for our clients. We don't want them going in and just trying to figure stuff out. I'll speak about that here in just a second. What are we talking about being in control? I'm talking about setting up the chart of accounts, the bank feeds, the bank rolls, and so on. So important. We also know that in most cases, small businesses do not set up their own books correctly. We usually end up redoing all that work. Not fun. Plus, once you convert the desktop file, set up the online account, including bank feeds, chart of accounts, and etc., and then invite your clients to their new online books, it's a fantastic time to extend some training to the small business. Now, we have a website with tons of resources for training for both you, your firm, your teammates, and the small business and their employees. If you want to talk more about that, please do reach out to your account manager. Let us know when you're ready to go over those resources. We can walk through that together. Now, the third and final reason why you should add a client inside of QuickBooks Online Accountant is the billing and package selection. Now, I've rolled these two into one because they do go hand in hand. Typically, when we send clients to the web, overwhelmingly, they pick the wrong package, which means we have to go back and forth to get that stuff straightened out. It's not a good feeling for your customer. They feel lost. From the surveys that we do, that it's just a bad time for them as they're trying to figure stuff out. When you set up the account, you can pick the appropriate package. You can also set up the appropriate billing, which leads me into the second reason, be aware of the billing. When you set up their account, again, you can decide direct bill, which is a 12-month discount, or wholesale billing, which is up to a 50% discount. Just remember, with wholesale, the firm is billed. Quick disclaimer on wholesale billing, that's typically rolled into bundled services package, which I mentioned earlier. Rarely is that used as a discount lever. It's really meant to serve a value pricing model. Okay, pretty straightforward. I was able to get all that done in under 10 minutes. Adding a client from within the QuickBooks Online Accountants Edition will save you time and build additional value by making your firm the master admin, putting your team in control from the very beginning, and allowing you to set up the billing and package selection properly from the start. I do hope you enjoyed today's presentation. Please feel free to send over any questions that you have around adding a client. Hope to see you out there on the road sometime. Thank you.